Good morning, welcome back. It is Sunday, and we're going to have the first of at least 3, maybe 4 parts of card show finds from fine folks over at Miller Time Collectibles. So that would be Brad and Travis and their group. They always put on a great group of shows every month at our local Moose Lodge here in town. In June, they're going to be at the Midwest Monster in Fishers. In August, they'll be at my building, the Noblesville Schools Community Center. Again, putting on really, really great card shows. The Moose is a smaller location. It does have about 50 tables, and their tables frequently sell out. I should have a calendar around here somewhere. I need to find it. But they are over on the Facebook, Miller Time Collectibles. Look them up. Always got shows that they're promoting. So let's go ahead and get to some of the stuff we found. I do have some other sports stuff. We will get to that soon. I'm going to start off with the racing. And I got a lot of racing. A gentleman there had a booth. He had multi-sports cards. And he's like, and like most of the people in there, you go to a table, you're looking for anybody in particular, you're looking for anything in particular. They're always very friendly, always very welcoming. So I really enjoy going in there. This gentleman had a booth. He had these unique storage containers. I didn't inquire about them, but I was like, hey, I think those are pretty cool. And he sells them, I guess, either through a vendor or something else. And he offered me a price on them. I was like, no, I'm not interested. I just, complimenting. But I did want to know if he had any racing. And he says, well, they're in this drawer over here. Pull open the drawer, and got a bunch of cards and top loaders or whatever. And he offered me a price on cards individually. And it's like, okay, I'll go through and pick out some. And as I'm going through, I'm about a third of the way through. He just says, I tell you what, he names a price for the entire row of cards. I said, okay, that's fair. So I took them. So the first one we're going to start off with, and this will eventually be a video in itself, we have a set of the Rob Moroso story, My Life in Racing. Of course, Redline produced a lot of sets of these, of different drivers. I think Ken Schrader, maybe Cale Yarborough, Benny Parsons, Harry Gant, a lot of drivers had this set. So we will eventually do a video of that set, and I'm just going to set it off to the side. And now, this is going to be the first stack, and it's just a huge stack of cards and top loads. Nothing really, amazing in this lot. There's some cool stuff in here, but the price that he gave me was easily worth the price of the top loaders by themselves. So we're going to go through this kind of rapid fire. We got Jimmy Johnson, but not the driver, but he was with Hendrick. I believe that's 95 tracks behind the scenes. Upper Deck. They always had their engines in the early sets, and I'm trying to read one. That's the Ford engine. They had Ford, Chevy, Pontiac. Bob Jenkins. Love to see Bob get in the Hall of Fame. This was 2000 Upper Deck. Jimmy Johnson has a rookie card in this set. This is it's just the garage card. Nothing special, but that'd be cool to get autographed by somebody. 97 Max Morgan Shepherd. Then this is Collector's Choice. I don't know if it's 98 or 97, but Loy Allen. This was one of the games that was in that set. Dick Brooks with MRN. He was a car owner briefly as well, and he has one career win at Talladega in 1975. Was it 75 or 73? Let me think about that one. 73. And then we have Jeff Andrews. 96 Upper Deck Road to the Cup, I believe that is. Jeff Bodine. Let me look at this really closely. Yes, 96 Upper Deck Road to the Cup. 96 Racer's Choice. Jimmy Cox. He was the stop-and-go man at the end of pit road. If you're younger fans, you don't know what that guy did, go back and watch an older race, maybe from the 80s or 90s, when cars would come out of the pits, especially under caution. If the back of the field had not caught up with the front of the field yet, a man at the end of the pits would hold up a stop or a go sign, and if the cars were still passing, he would make the cars in the pits wait. Then when the last car went by, then he would release them. 96 Max Odyssey, Jeff Bodine. 97 Max, Ted Musgrave. 97 Max, Ward Burton. 96 Pinnacle, Hut Strickland. That was a nice set. I like the design and the pictures on those cards. There's John Andretti, 95 Upper Deck. Is that Series 1 or 2? That is Series 2. It's number 213. 94 High Gear Gold, Roger Penske. 94 High Gear Rick Masters. You see a lot of TTM stuff in here, too. These are nice cards, but most of these are going to come out of the top loads. Michael Waltrip, 94 High Gear. Terry Labonte, 94 High Gear, and you see he's got a black uniform, so that photo is from 93 when he was still driving for Billy Hagan. There's his brother Bobby Labonte, driving for Bill Davis. Larry Mack. Steve Meal. There's a couple guys that need to go in the Hall of Fame. Roy Payne drove in the Busch Series for a self-owned team for a couple of years. Larry Pearson, this was when he was driving for Mac Martin, Stanley Tools as a sponsor. Mike Wallace. We had to split this stack up into thirds. This pretty big stack. Tracy Leslie, Busch Series stalwart, drove many, many years in the Busch Series. Has a handful of Cup starts. Tom Peck had a big break at the beginning of '94, driving for the Steve Grissom team. After about 8 races, they decided they were going to go part-time, but that was after Gary and Carolyn Bechtel bought the team and rechristened it Diamond Ridge Racing. Hermie Sadler. That might or might not be a rookie card. I'm going to have to look that one up. I don't think it is because I think he's got cards in 93 tracks. But I'm going to look that one up for sure. 94 High Gear Chuck Bound, the 1990 Busch champ. Todd Bodine, 2-time Truck Series champ. Shauna Robinson, her rookie cards in the 1990 Max set. There's two-time Busch champ Randy LaJoy. Mike Wallace once again, driving for Barry Owen. BP, Hall of Famer. Tom Peck. Summit meeting, so you have Joe Nemechek, Ricky Craven, Todd Bodine, probably at a short track, maybe Hickory or something of that nature. Harry Gant's Busch car, French's Mustard Racing, that was Ed Whitaker's team. Hall of Famer and World War II veteran Bud Moore, he was on the shores of Normandy on D-Day. There's Ned Jarrett, filming his Inside Winston Cup show, which was on TNN. Miller 400 at Michigan. And this would be the June race, and I'm going to think that's 93. I'm trying to find a car. Yeah, there's a Kawicki 7 car, which Hensley was driving at that time. So this was Jeff Gordon's first runner-up finish. We were at that race. Ricky Rudd won that race. Bobby Hillen for Heilig Myers Racing. Junie Donlevy was the owner. There's Don Miller. Bojangles Racing, so you got Derek Cope, and there's Phil Parsons in the background. If it's the spring race, it's Phil Parsons. If it's the fall race, it could be any number of drivers. There's another one. We have a Busch car of Larry Pearson with Harry Gant to his outside. Buster Otten recently retired as a NASCAR official. Waddell Wilson was crew chief on that 41 car that Phil Parsons drove for Larry Hedrick Motorsports. We have a few more here to go, then we'll call it a day because I've got another stack the same size, and we'll go through that one later this week. Cale Yarborough starts off the rest of the stack. There's independent driver Jimmy Means. He has the most career starts in Cup Series history without a top 5 finish. I can't remember how many starts exactly that he has. It's north of 400. I think it's like 460 or somewhere in that neighborhood. But he only has 17 top 10 finishes. Pennzoil Transporter, Mike Wallace. Robert Yates Racing. So Davey started the car in 93 when he was killed in a helicopter crash. Robbie Gordon drove it at Talladega. Lake Speed drove it at Watkins Glen, Michigan, and Bristol. And then Ernie Irvin took over after that. They did skip the Pocono race that was the week after Davey was killed. Robert Presley. Motorcraft 500. This was the Great Blizzard race. So this race was scheduled on a date and actually was held a couple weeks later because the Great Blizzard of 93 hit. Morgan Shepherd right there won his 4th and final career Cup Series race that day. And it was a race originally scheduled to air on ABC and eventually aired on TNN. There's Air Hendrick, Donnie Wingo, Coca-Cola 600. So I tell a lie, this was Jeff Gordon's first runner-up finish. not the Michigan race. I'm pretty sure he was runner-up in that race. I'm going to have to look at that. I know he had a couple runner-up finishes in 93, but I'm drawing a blank on it. Unical Race Stoppers, 92 Black Max of Waddell Wilson. Jerry Nadeau during his Cartoon Network days at Melling. What do we have here? Rusty, Donnie Wingo, Steve Meal, Sterling Marlin. These are 96 Press Pass, 94 Tracks of Morgan Shepherd. Actually, it's Wood Brothers Racing. That'd be a nice one to get sent off because there's plenty of, of room for them to sign. And Chad Little, 1999 Wheels. Don't have very many of these cards. I was kind of out of collecting at that time. I say most of these cards are going to go out of top loaders and be integrated into their respective sorted areas that I have them for each specific driver. Like I said, not a lot of really super great cards. I was going to pick out several cards anyway for the price that he was going to give me. But then the price he ended up quoting me on, I was like, okay, that's fair enough because that's literally the price of the top loaders. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Hopefully the Darlington race today is a good one, and I'm waiting for CW to upload the Xfinity Series race to the app so I can watch it on my TV. So CW, chop chop, let's get her done. So thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.